Hello and welcome to this special end of year episode. Before we dive in though, a quick reminder, if you've enjoyed this season, don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating and share your favorite episode with a friend. Your support really means the world to me and it helps the podcast grow. Now, let's wrap up the end of year together. Welcome to today's episode. It is that time of year where we all pretend we're super introspective and organized, but in reality, we're just trying to figure out how we made it through the last 12 months without accidentally burning down the house or our lives. So today, we're reflecting on 2024, not just because you're supposed to, but because it's actually a game changer if you do it right. Stick with me. I promise this won't be boring. And I can almost guarantee that at the end of this part, I've split this episode into sections. And the last section, there will be questions and reflection prompts that you will have never done. I can almost guarantee that. So stick around. But firstly, it's important to understand the why. As Simon Sinek says, the why will give you purpose and clarity as to what makes this an important thing to do. But firstly, I just want to be completely transparent with you. I never used to reflect, and the idea of sitting down and thinking back on things and even potentially writing them down would give me hives. Okay, not really, but you know what I mean. It's not something that I wanted nor was excited to do. But the last few years, I have started to reflect on the year and I've started writing down all the things and the beauty of doing this. Firstly, it's not about beating yourself up over all the things that you didn't do, about the New Year's resolution that you ditched by February, but it's about reminding yourself that whatever you're feeling about the year, more often than not, we achieve way more than we realize. And I don't know what it is about our brains that tend to forget all the good things that we've done, all the stuff that we started and achieved. It's like our brain is running some sort of highlight reel, but instead of showing the wins and achievements, it's stuck replaying that one awkward thing we said in a meeting. What is up with that? We could have climbed Mount Everest, but no, the brain wants to remember you walking through a glass door instead. Well done, brain. Top notch. But seriously, you will be surprised with all the amazing things that you've accomplished or survived this year. Because reflecting is about getting curious. It's about understanding what actually worked in the year and, more importantly, what did not. It really is your chance to dig into the highlights, laugh at the disasters, and figure out what you want to bring into the next year. And of course, what you're leaving behind. The other thing is reflection, it's not just about looking back. It's about looking forward. When you take the time to really unpack your year, good, bad, and whatever the questionable decision was in July, you start to see patterns. You figure out what makes you tick, what drains you, and where you can show up better. It's like cleaning your glasses after smudging them all day and you didn't even realize how blurry things were until you could see clearly again. This is something that has happened recently to me. I now have to wear glasses in my old age. Oh, my eyes are just not doing the things that they used to be able to do. And I'm wearing glasses and it's like putting those glasses on. I can see clearly. It's unbelievable and a little scary at times. So grab a coffee, a notebook, or just your thoughts, and let's dive in. And if you happen to be driving, have a listen to this, get a feel for the questions, have a little think. But then when you're not driving, that's when you should take out your notebook and a pen and dive in. So I am going to go over the questions that you need to ask yourself. And if you prefer to have them in front of you, I will have a PDF that you can download with all of the questions ready for you to go, and you can just fill them in. The questions are, number 1, 2024 was the year that I. This question forces you to zoom out and capture the essence of the year. Think of it like writing a headline for your life of 2024. What's the story you'd want it to tell? It really helps you focus on the big picture and not just the gritty details. And I love this prompt because it does really force you to take, well, I don't really like the word force, but you know what I mean. But it does help you to take back that zoomed out approach, that bird's eye view, like with no emotions attached, just zoom out. Number 2, my top 3 accomplishments and memories were: we don't celebrate ourselves enough. And this question is all about giving yourself credit where it's due. And my friend, it is due. It's also a reminder that even on our tough days, there were moments of joy. We achieved stuff. There was pure hilarity, and that made it all worth it because, well, I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, then try. You should really try because it's good fun. I mean, depending on what you're laughing yourself at for, but, lighten up at times. There's stuff in the world going on that is awful, but there are some really beautiful things in life, in your life, that you can really celebrate, enjoy, and be thankful for. So really hone in on those moments. Number 3, the people who influenced my life most this year were... Now, this one's important because no one does life solo. No matter how independent you think you are, this question highlights the connections that were shaped, who supported you, who challenged you, and it's about appreciating the people who helped you grow, even if it was through tough love. And I love this because I have people in my life where I might not agree with certain opinions, but I respect them enough to want to hear them. And that really helps me grow as a person as well. And so it's about understanding who are those people in your life that do help you grow, who do challenge you, and of course, who are there for you as well. So that's why I love that question. Number 4 is moments or activities that brought me peace and made me feel most alive. Peace and aliveness are the ultimate markers of a life well lived. This question helps you identify what filled your cup so you can do more of that next year. Number 5, what made me feel most accomplished and what drained my energy. So accomplishment and energy are 2 sides of the same coin. When you know what fuels you and what drains you, you can start setting boundaries that actually stick. This question is all about protecting your energy in the future. It's a hot commodity. I probably used that word wrong, but you know what I'm saying. Did I? Maybe. I like the word. Do I? Moving on to number 6, what limiting beliefs came up and how did you work through them? Limiting beliefs, those little bastards. The little thoughts that convince us that we are not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, fit enough, rich enough, ready enough in general. You get the picture. Identifying these beliefs is the first step to dismantling them. And when you work through them, you realize that they had way less power than you thought. So ask yourself, what thoughts are limiting you, and look for the truth and facts in those statements. And be honest with yourself. Facts. Number 7, my biggest lesson of the year. Lessons aren't just about mistakes. They're about growth. So this question makes you pause and reflect on what life was really trying to teach you this year, whether it's patience, resilience, or that eating 2 blocks of chocolate a night is probably not a good idea. Noted. Number 9, what practices helped me manage stress and what changes could I make to support my goals? Let's face it, life is stressful. But when you figure out what works for you, whether it's meditation or going for a walk or yelling into a pillow, you can lean into these practices next year. Plus, it's a chance to tweak your routines to actually support your goals. 10. What am I most grateful for in 2024? Gratitude is like a magic trick for shifting your mindset. When you focus on what you're thankful for, it's easier to see how far you've come and what really matters. Plus, it's just good vibes all around. Number 11. One goal or habit from 2024 that I'll carry into 2025. You've already done the hard work of building this habit. Why let it go? This question helps you to identify what's worth carrying forward so you can build on it and make 2025 even stronger. So, with those questions, that segues into goal setting for 2025. So the thing about goals, they can't be just random wishes that you scribble down on a napkin and then forget about it. They need to come from a place of intention, self-awareness, and dare I say, a little bit of boldness. Otherwise, they just end up in that weird limbo where resolutions go to die. You know what I mean? Like that yoga membership you signed up for in January and then ghosted by March. Yeah, that one. So now we're going to dive into the kind of questions that don't just help you set goals, they help you set meaningful goals. The kind that make you excited to get up in the morning, the kind that move the needle on your life, and yes, the kind that make you just a little bit uncomfortable because that's where growth lies. Let's get into it. These questions are to guide your 2025 and help you create the kind of year you'll be proud to look back on. Okay, so 2025 goal setting questions. Number 1, qualities I want to develop or strengthen. So, goals are great, but let's not forget who's running the show. You. Focusing on qualities like resilience, confidence, or patience means you're working on the foundation, not just the window dressing. The better version of you is the one driving the goals. So let's make sure that person is ready to shine. Number 2, my intentions and key goals for the year in health, wealth, career, and relationships. Okay, so these are the big 4 of life. By breaking your goals into these areas, you get a clear roadmap instead of just some vague idea like be better. Whether it's improving your fitness, saving money, leveling up your career, or building deeper connections, this structure helps you keep focused and balanced. Okay, 3, what routines or habits will have the biggest impact on my success? This question helps you figure out which small, consistent actions can stack up into big wins over time. And that's the thing about setting any goal. Without clear actions, everything just becomes harder to achieve. So know which routines and habits or behaviors are the ones that will move you inch by inch closer to your goals. 4, one way I'll push myself out of my comfort zone is, I like this one. It's always a little scary. No one likes being uncomfortable, but it is where the growth happens. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is scary, but it's also where you find the next level of yourself. And it doesn't have to be something huge. If you can imagine a ladder, the first rung is comfort. Easy. The next rung is a little uncomfortable. The next one after that is a little more uncomfortable, and so on and so forth. If you make a list of things that are uncomfortable that you want to try and that are in order of discomfort, you can imagine that ladder. Right. So seeing this makes it easier for your brain to recognize what is achievable when you achieve the first rung. So it's like everything becomes easier the more you do something, right? Whether it's scary or not, when you approach your discomforts or your goals in this way, it's much easier to look at. So I'm butchering this. Let me try that again. So your brain can look at that second rung as uncomfortable, and you might create a story about that, but that is way more achievable than looking at the very top rung, whatever that is, right? So if you can put down, all the things that you want to achieve, all your goals that are a bit scary and are uncomfortable, if you put them in the level of discomfort on that ladder, number one, it can break it down. It can, like, by looking at it, you might go, actually, yeah, that's doable. If I go one step at a time, I can achieve this, but I can't go from that bottom rung to that top rung. That's way too far, the distance apart. So you are effectively conditioning yourself to get better at each goal, at each moment of discomfort by doing it this way. Hopefully, I explained that somewhat okay. Okay, number 5, skills or knowledge I want to improve. Think of this as an upgrade to your operating system, whether it's learning a new language, improving public speaking, I'm still improving my speaking, or finally figuring out how to budget. Adding new skills keeps you growing and evolving and makes you feel like a total boss. Keep learning. We are built and programmed to continue that, to learn, evolve, get better, greater. Number 6, if I could become the favorite version of myself, that would look like. I love this question. I love this question. This is like the ultimate self check. Who do you actually want to be? Not the version that you think you should be or the version you think people think you should be, but the one that makes you excited to wake up every day, the one you admire, the one you respect, the one that you go, yes, I love her or him. This question helps you focus on what really matters to you and not anyone else. Number 7, a bold decision I could make to transform my year is... Okay, so sometimes it's not about doing more. It's about making one game-changing decision. Maybe it's starting a new job, ending a relationship, or saying yes to an opportunity that scares you. Bold moves create big shifts. And this question gets you thinking about what yours might be. Number 8, how I'll celebrate the wins, big and small, to stay motivated. Celebrating your wins isn't just about fun, although it is fun and you should be having fun. It's about reinforcing positive behavior and keeping your momentum going. It's super important that you recognize yourself and what you've achieved. No matter how big or small, recognize yourself and what you've achieved. Okay, number 9, what I want to feel more of and how I'll cultivate that feeling daily. Okay, how you show up every day is in part how you feel. So if we want to show up in a certain way, we've also got to think about the feeling that creates that. So what is that feeling and how can you create that in yourself? Is it joy? Is it peace? Is it confidence or excitement or contentment? Identifying the feelings you want helps you align your actions with what really matters and also what you need to do in order to achieve that every single day. Number 10, ways I can nurture relationships and set boundaries to protect my energy. Relationships are the spice of life, but without boundaries, they can also be the drain of life. Hope you're not offended by that, but it's true. This question helps you focus on strengthening connections that matter while protecting your energy from things or people that leave you feeling wiped out. And it's not about putting labels on people. It's about figuring out what drains you. That's why this is really important, right? When you think about these things, stuff comes up for you. You're able to get them out of your head and onto paper. And this then excuse me, helps you identify these things and what could be the cause or what could be the reason, and then what actions need to be taken from there. So, really important to identify the relationships that serve you and where boundaries need to be put in place as well. So, number 11, what I'll bring into my life to support my aspirations. Create the right environment, whether it's tools, systems, or even just saying no to distractions. This question ensures you're setting yourself up for success, not sabotaging it before you even start. So, what will really support you and your goals? Number 12, in 2025, I will start. Starting is always the hardest part. By getting specific about what you'll begin, you're taking that first step toward momentum. It's about breaking the inertia and saying, okay, this is where it begins. And again, I'll come back to the reason why this is so important. When you think about these things and you write them down, it becomes clear of the actions that need to be taken. So, what are you going to start? Number 13, at the end of 2025, I want to look back and say, so this is about writing your own happy ending before it's even happened. By imagining how you want to feel at the end of the year, you create a vision that keeps you motivated and intentional. It's the ultimate future you pep talk. It's the thing that helps you realize all the things that you want to achieve in a year. It's setting you up for achieving that dream, that vision. So now, here's something. Like I said in the beginning, I can almost guarantee you have not done before, at least maybe not as part of your end of year reflection or goal setting. Are you ready? Ask the people around you, your friends, your family, your ride or dies, to reflect on you. Yes, you heard me right. They reflect on you. This is not about what you think of yourself. This is about seeing yourself through the eyes of people who know you best. And I know it sounds a little terrifying. It's like hosting your own roast, but hopefully fewer insults. This isn't something we usually do. We're too busy criticizing ourselves. I should have worked harder, been better, maybe not even eaten that entire pizza on Tuesday, to even think, hey, what do other people see in me? But that's the thing. Your friends and family, they see everything, the good stuff, the stuff you're too humble or oblivious to notice, and yes, even the stuff you might want to work on. These questions aren't just about hearing nice things, that is a bonus. They're about uncovering insights you'd never see on your own. So let's get into those questions you'll be sending to your own personal panel of experts. And I promise the slight awkwardness is worth it. And you might just walk away realizing you're a lot more amazing than you thought. So, questions for friends. Number 1. What strengths do you see in me that I might not fully recognize in myself? This is foundations, right? We are often blind to our own strengths, and this question shines a light on those hidden gems that can fuel our growth and confidence. Number 2, What's one thing I did this year that you think reflects who I am at my best? This anchors your identity in action. It highlights the moments where you truly showed up as your best self. It's a great way to see what resonates with others and reinforces your core values. Number 3, what qualities do you think I should lean into more as I move forward into 2025? Now, this question provides direction for the future. It helps you identify which qualities are worth amplifying to unlock your potential and align with your goals. Number 4, how would you describe the ways I've grown or changed over the past year? I think sometimes growth is hard to notice in ourselves, but I think others see it way clearer. So this question gives you a fresh perspective on how far you've come and what's working, and how incredibly well you've done as well. Just thought I'd throw that in. Question 6. Are we up to 6 already? No, that's 5. Question 5. What's one area where you think I could grow or improve in the coming year? So this is important because constructive feedback is essential for progress. And sometimes, I think we can be our hardest critic. So we're always thinking about all the things that we could do better. But when we hear it from someone else, like I said, they see, okay, speak please. They see all the amazing things that you're doing as well. So it balances the conversation, giving perspective into the areas that you do need to improve, or maybe even refine and focus your efforts for in 2025. So constructive feedback is always really great to get from an outside perspective, because we ourselves can be really harsh and blind to all of our incredible things that we're good at as well. So that's why that's such a good question. Okay. I know these questions, it might feel a little bit awkward to ask that kind of feedback, but it's really worth it. By taking in this feedback, you go into 2025 stronger and with a sense of who you are and what you bring to the table. There you have it, my friends, a full reflection on 2024 and some solid groundwork for making 2025 your best year yet. I hope this episode gave you a fresh perspective and maybe a little bit of inspiration to dig into your own reflection and goal setting. Here's the thing. Change doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we take the time to look at where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go. I also want to take a moment to thank you, literally thank you for being part of this journey and for tuning into season 5 of the Jackie Tam podcast. Whether you've been here from the very beginning or whether you've just recently hopped on the podcast this year, your support, your listens and your feedback have been so incredible, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you. Don't forget the part about asking your friends and family those key questions. It's such a powerful way to see yourself in a whole new light. I promise you it is worth the awkwardness. You will hear things that could completely change your approach to how you start your year next year. So take that on. As we wrap up this season and head into 2025, remember, small steps lead to big changes. Stay curious, stay kind to yourself, and don't be afraid to dream a little bigger this year. Celebrate your wins, big or small, because these moments of joy make the hard work worth it. Thank you again for spending this time with me today and for being part of such an amazing year. I will see you in 2025, new episodes, new insights, and hopefully even more laughs along the way. Until then, here's to an incredible year ahead. Talk very soon.